Oh, hey. Hey, look, everyone. Alice is here.
Hello.
Alice, we have Courtney, we have Jackson,
What's up?
and we have Ozzy.
Hello there.
Yet now that Alice is here, this court is now in session.
It's official now.
Oh,
we're,
my Lord.
we're in the thick of it.
Okay, here we go. Buckle
yeah.
up.
We're and Ozzy and Jackson have a band called Scarlet Magnum.
Yeah.
It's something. You guys are something.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so
man.
much.
Thanks a lot.
I'm still figuring out what it is exactly, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I
We're trying to figure out too.
Yeah.
It's like one of the fun things about being in a band is that it's like this story is constantly developing whether you like it or not.
Yeah, this new chapter just started for us. pretty much,
Exactly.
in this past week.
Was that y'all's first show together last week?
Yeah, this was the first show in this new lineup, which kind of
Yeah.
begs the question about the story of the formation of the band. So
I was gonna say y'all's like stage presence like is fucking incredible. Like
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut in
doing
real
that for
quick.
years and years. Like age aside, I don't think that's like a factor, but like just like the number of shows that you've played live together, that's incredible.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
actually my first show ever. Like
Yeah.
full live set.
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
And you're the
That's
first to admit it on this
that's
podcast.
insane.
Congratulations.
There's no way. That's insane.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Like
when
this
you play
guy
in
has
the
been
garage
post- yeah,
for
this-
like
this-
6 years.
Exactly. Like this guy's
By
been
yourself.
posting Dead Poet Society drum covers since like 2020, 2019 or so.
Around this, yeah, 2019.
around that
That's when it
time,
really started.
yeah. And Will Goodroad, if you're listening to this, we love you to bits.
Please let us open for you guys.
Please, yes. Yeah.
You guys keep doing exactly what you're doing. You're on path to greatness.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
There's super secret, top secret stuff that's happening behind the scenes that you can't know about, Alice, but just know that they got you. There's
What the fuck do you mean?
things on the horizon.
Let's just say there's a new arrangements in the works,
Yeah.
and we're very excited as to how this is going. And Jackson is taking the songwriting in a direction which is pleasantly unexpected,
Yeah.
and it is ready to peel paint off of walls. And
Yeah.
we're just very excited
Yeah,
about
we
it.
really are.
You guys have such a great chemistry on stage.
Thank you so much.
It is
Yeah.
like part of what we were talking about this earlier before you got here.
Yeah.
Alice. Part of what makes live performance so great is you have the people doing the act have to be invested in enjoying what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, without like the love of the craft, there's
Why are you
really
doing
no
it?
point in doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like if you're doing this just to have cash rolling, you might as well stop while you're ahead and take a job at Costco, you know?
Yeah, you might as well make pop music.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Do
like
something
Something
funny.
fun. You guys are doing something fun though.
yeah, I mean, and
Dude, no joke. I
Yeah.
forgot we were getting paid at the show,
Yeah.
so we left.
yeah, and
Right
then we
away.
met Kenneth Johnson of a Silent Mono
Before we came here,
Yeah.
at
we met
the
up,
parking
showed
lot
up
at
together.
Diamond Sound Studios, and I'm like, oh my god, this seems super sketch. But then
Yeah.
again, KJ shows up, and it's like he's hobbing around in his boot, and I'm like, hey KJ, and it's like I stick my hand out of the car like just crossing guard, and then we made it happen, and I think I have to message the guys in Titans of Siren to get their pay as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a really great show, and definitely the first of many more shows in this new chapter of Scarlet Magnum. And then again, we're very excited, and we're very grateful to just have the opportunity to be together and perform these great songs live. And well, more so the covers than our originals, because I'm rather self-conscious.
Yeah.
But to give you some context, Jackson and I have been speaking for 18 months only on FaceTime
Yeah.
prior to us actually meeting
That's
in
insane.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the first
that's
time we met up
insane.
was literally like last Sunday.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
In real life.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So like a week before
the
the show,
fuck?
not even.
Not even. And then it's like pretty much day of he got here. We were filming the first
Yeah.
episode of our vlog series Music City Mischief, and you saw day 4, and there's I think
A
there's
little bit
like
of day 5. Too.
yeah, there's like 2. He watched all of day 5, and there's
I gotta go back
there's
and
like
get all
2
the
or 3
lore.
more episodes still in the works as
Yeah.
of this as of today, which is June 27th, 2022.
But yeah, before the show,
AD.
we jammed in real life a total like what 4 times.
4 times, and it's
Yeah.
already sounding like it's
We've
like the
played for
Wile E.
years.
Coyote got his money's worth for his Acme Dynamite, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like I thought you guys grew up together.
Yeah.
It feels like that almost.
It-
We feel like brothers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's one of the beautiful things about having a community that's like so tightly knit, such as New Rock Mafia. Which,
Shout out.
yeah, basically,
I was
for,
gonna ask you guys about them. The NRM is one of your biggest influences, right?
yeah.
Yes.
So let me provide as best as I could as to what NRM is. And I'm sorry, Luke, Ian, Steve, Dan, Brad, Jig, Quinn, and Liam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything.
Why?
But
What are you sorry
I'm
for?
gonna try to
Apologies.
interpret it as best as I could.
Oh, okay, dude.
It's and I have the
You're good.
manifesto saved in my Google Drive.
You're good, bro. Go ahead.
But basically, the New Rock Mafia was more or less established in late 2018, I think.
yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, when the guys in 3 bands in Ontario, Canada, primarily Cleopatrick, Ready the Prince, and Dubé, and
Who were
later down the road changed their name to Zig Mentality.
Mhm.
They started this collective of alt rock bands with them at the core, and then it just started to
Yeah.
kind of like spider out ever since. It just started to
Like-
kind of spider out ever since like Cleo got more exposure through the playlist of the
There-
Rock This playlist when Ali Hagendorf put a Hometown on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, if they hadn't kicked it off with Hometown, like I feel like it's because of that song really that NRM really took off,
yeah,
and like I feel like we still could have met even if it didn't take off, but still like it was
yeah,
it was a big playing factor in
Yeah.
like
definitely a big playing factor in us.
Cleo's popularity pretty much.
Definitely, yeah. And the main thing is well, I don't know if it's a main thing. I just say that a lot.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things I really enjoy about 2-piece bands is that it's like the extravagance with such minimalism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can
Yeah.
have
That's
such
a good way of putting it.
it's
Mhm.
like you can have such like a phenomenal stage show, and you can have like this fantastic sounding show, and then you realize it's like you walk to your seat in the stadium and there's 2 guys on stage. Like, what? How is that possible? Easy. AB boxes, pitch shifters, fuzzes, and big walls of 4x12 and 8x10 cabinets. It's-
I
it's
feel
easy.
that. We have some good friends, Cassette Stress, that have been on the
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were talking about them.
I-
earlier.
I- yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
duo, and I need to peak that pedal board. And like, from my personal experience, I'm a fucking solo act, but I use a
Yeah.
synth and a drum machine, like 3 fucking pedals, and I'm working it up. Like it's a fucking feat to overcome the fact that you're not a full band, that there's not 3 to 5 of you up there, maybe more than that with some people, let's be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys,
Like, so you guys definitely rock that, the full sound with just the 2 of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
That was all this compliments. This is so alien to me.
have you guys seen 68?
Oh, no! Oh my god! Yeah!
Cheers, fist bump.
Hey,
Dude,
wait. Oh
covered-
my god, let me get my water. Let me get my water.
Dude,
No way! Yeah!
we covered 68 at the end of the show.
No, wait. What? Which song?
Whether terrified or unafraid.
It's like
know,
we
I don't
did.
know that
It's
one.
like Wreck It, and then
What
the-
album is that?
2
It's
Parts
on-
Viper.
yeah.
It's like our favorite
Wait, which
record.
album? What year?
No
At
fucking way.
2017.
Oh man, I guess I haven't been keeping up. Shit.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I
You're good.
played with 68. No, you didn't.
Shut
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now.
Wait.
I'm not even joking.
It's
I
like-
played with Josh Scogin.
Bro, the
No, you didn't.
the audio is not gonna come through your
It's not.
phone into this dinky little
Right, okay,
microphone.
I'll show you after, but this is fucking insane.
It
you know
really
68.
is, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Dude,
I
we
don't know what
bond
they
over
call.
68.
Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know what
okay.
they call you,
But
but they
they
call
call
us
us
68. This
Um,
is a song you never heard before.
Oh,
Please sing along.
Yeah.
we were best friends before, but now we're all lovers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking believe
Yeah.
that, man. Oh my
Oh,
god.
my brain is non-existent after that.
Okay, let's talk about Every Time I Die.
Yo, so I heard of Every Time I Die before I heard of 68. And yeah, so like I'd seen 68 like come up in my Spotify feed before, but I never really got into them. It was not until I got them like recommended to me. I forgot where. I saw one of their live sessions. I was like, holy shit, these guys are massive.
And I remember
And
you
weird.
were and I remember you were telling me that
Like, dude,
Jack
yeah.
Jack Underkoffler of Dead Poet Society
Yeah,
posted a video of 68 performing live on some sort of rock cruise,
yeah.
Yeah.
Rock. What's it called?
something or the other. It's like correct us later on.
Yeah. We'll do it in post. I guess.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought up Every Time I Die is they recently broke up, and
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
wow.
sucks.
but Josh Scogin's on the latest record.
Dude, I listened to that
Wow.
that ending scream on that. It's called fucking what's it called?
All This in War.
All This is War. All This and War.
Yeah.
That last scream,
No.
I listened to that on repeat. It's so
But-
fucking cool.
Like to me, like they put out Every Time I Die put out like 9 records, something like that.
Yeah.
Their last one to me is the best one,
It's
I mean,
very
and
unique.
it's like they broke up like right after that. And it's
yeah, a
like-
whole
And I
bunch
think
of
it's
drama
one of-
shit went down.
it's like
with
one of the-
singer.
One of the more beautiful things I think about, like the dissolving of bands is like, the opportunity for the intentional or the accidental last hurrah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like, and I really hate it when like bands leave their fans hanging. It's like, hey, we're in the middle of producing this record, and then a few weeks later, oh crap, we broke up. And I think it's like in situations with like with Every Time I Die, for example, where it was almost like easily one of the best like last salutes in contemporary music, only rivaled I think by Let It Be,
Let It Be.
by the Beatles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you really think of it, because like I think Abbey Road was like recorded like beforehand, and that song, The End, and it's like if you compare like Let It Be to Love Me Do, it's miles different. I mean, especially it's like you went from 4 lovesick British teenagers to the all of a sudden like 10 years
Right.
down the line, these really prolific, mature songwriters that have made like an indelible mark on pop culture. And I think it's it's like a really beautiful thing about music. It's just like you see how the musicians developed,
Yeah.
and it could be for good, like in case of the Beatles, and it could be for bad, like in a case like Highly Suspect, where
Highly Suspect.
Yeah.
it's because like if you take it, for example, a song like My Name Is Human, off of The Boy Who Died Wolf, it's like intricate song, like in terms of the lyrical concepts and whatnot. But then once you listen to like their newest single, Pink Lullaby or something, what was?
Yeah, Pink Lullaby is the heavy one.
It's like Pink Lullaby is the heavy one. It's just like the lyrical content is not there. It's rather shallow.
Yeah, their last album, MCID, is pretty.
And it's like, and it's like you're always taking risks with a sonic evolution, and it's like it could
Like, I
be for good,
respect
it could
it
be
for
for.
sure,
It's like congrats to you for taking the risk, and
Yeah.
I commend you for pushing your own personal boundaries, and I commend you for finding that next step for you, but it isn't really resonating with me. And the fact that it's not really resonating with me, it's like as a collective thought across an entire genre, and then they direct their resentment for that record at that artist, and I think it's rather unjustified.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
It's one of those other like really weird things I never really understood about music, how people take their own opinions and then and then weaponize them towards the artists.
What in whatever order you guys want to answer, what did your parents listen to? Like what were you listening to growing up?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah,
yeah,
go
closer.
first. Yeah.
So I really got into drums because of my stepdad. He was in a local Texas alt rock band called the Burning Hotels. I don't know if you've heard of them. But yeah, I can't remember what it was exactly.
It's
that
like
really
super.
got me into
It's like
it.
super bright, super chimey, and it's really a vibe and a half.
I
really like
definitely
it.
recommend them. They don't play together anymore, unfortunately, but it's like
Yeah.
they went from like kind of punky alt rock to like synth wave almost. But it's a really cool evolution. Like we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So really, it was because of him that I got into like drumming. So he listened to like all kinds of bands like The Strokes, Foals. I don't know if you know them.
No.
I'd say they're a pretty well-known band in the UK. But yeah, Foals, Strokes. What else was there? Like a ton of like alt rock kind of synthy bands. Like there's this one band called something Black, Small Black. I don't know if you know them. Then there's
It's like
Washed Out. Oh, Tame Impala. He loves Tame Impala.
it's like one of the, and going back to the whole Sonic Evolution thing.
Yeah.
Just if you listen to Tame Impala's first EP, like one of like the most like undiscoverable pieces of music, at least in his genre, compared to like his rather large fan base now. It's like it's not even mentioned. It's like you have Inner Speaker, Lonerism, Currents, Slow Rush. That's it. What happened beforehand? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
it's a crazy evolution.
Yeah. You want to continue?
Yeah. So that's about the most notable bands that my stepdad listens to. I guess he still listens to them, but I'll have to ask. So yeah, he I guess to kind of, this isn't necessarily what my parents listen to, but to kind of give further context of why I believe I started playing drums is at a very young age, I was obsessed with, don't judge me, dubstep, basically.
I mean, it's
like big
respectable.
whoop kind of shit. Like,
Well, you didn't say you were currently into dubstep, so I'm not.
yeah, that's good. I'm 19, so I should not be listening to that shit.
Bless your soul.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm just kidding. You know, maybe there are some Alice's out
Lord.
there that like dubstep.
Yeah, it can be a cool thing to implement.
Yeah,
but it's
I mean, like
mostly
Strange
the fucking
Bones have.
beat. Yeah.
I mean, Strange Bones have really had massive
Yeah.
success
They're a
incorporating
band
it
from
into
the
like
UK.
their album England Screams. By
They're-
the way, check that
They're
out.
not so much dubstep. They're like electronic punk.
Yeah, it's like electro punk or something.
They
like
used to
that.
be a lot like kind of like bluesy rock, but then it kind of morphed into this kind of fucking balls to the wall punk. Like if you see live shows of them, it's brutal. Like
Yeah.
there's fucking like mic stands being kicked into people. Like the guy fucking hangs off the ceiling from his legs. Like it's I
Bobby
think he like
Wolfgang's.
throws the bass drum out at someone or something. I don't fucking know.
Oh my
It's
Lord.
insane, but it's
Yeah.
like it's like true fucking hardcore punk, and I highly recommend checking them out. They're
Yeah,
fucking cool.
with like a Prodigy style twist.
Oh yeah, they actually covered the Prodigy.
Yeah, it's like on Spitfire on their We the Rats EP.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
So you got a pretty mixed bag.
Yeah. That's how I started pretty much. But now I'm fully into like the 2-piece style, like making one instrument sound like 15.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking my
Yeah,
favorite thing.
Yeah.
What did you say before about the simplicity?
it's like
Yeah.
it's like the extravagance and simplicity.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
So how about you?
As for me, my to give you some context, it's like me being born in New Jersey around 2002, and it's like shortly off the heels of the whole Boston alt rock thing. So my mom and dad listened to a lot of Pixies, Sonic Youth, Breeders, L7. It's like those kinds of bands. I think there's another one. Liz Phair is in that bunch as well. It's just like anything with like some oddball tuning, a jazz master, and a guy with an identity crisis, and there's Boston alt rock.
Right. Yeah.
But and another thing I think that really kind of impacted my it's like my perception of melody and it's like my intuition as to like, okay, how do I construct the song in this way so that I'll get a person to jump, or I get a person to like, crawl into a corner, cry, and look at pictures of their ex. But
we want to span the whole spectrum of feeling.
Exactly, yeah. And I think looking into our own discography, it's like, I'll get into that tangent later. But going back to the going back to the influences thing, it's like my parents used to listen to a lot of classic alt rock, and then I mean, as for me, I started out on like early Beatles, like around 1964, and then it was a few years down the line, or just maybe it's around that same time that I also got started listening to some of the bands in the Laurel Canyon scene around the 1960s, stuff like, the Byrds, the Hollies, and Eric Clapton had some huge influence in the Laurel Canyon scene as well. Like Tom Petty, like is like an influential figure that kind of stemmed off of that scene. It's just like the 12-string Rickenbacker by the beach through a twin reverb, and you're wearing a turtleneck in 70-degree weather. It's like that kind of thing. And it's kind of like, but then it goes back to like the admiration that young Americans had for these British bands that were coming across the pond during the British invasion. And then it's like those bands, it's like kind of noticing their song structures kind of gave me
a very interesting era for music.
Yeah, definitely. It's like so much development kind of happened. It's like you went from very like, it's like Elvis style rock, just like it's like the classic like 12-bar blues, a really like thin guitar sound. It's like a rather warm bass tone, and it's just rather crude recording techniques in 1957, for example. And then you fast forward to 1966, and you have Tomorrow Never Knows, where you're like it's like doing the whole reverse tape thing, and then playing your vocal track backwards, and then maybe you put your guitar track through a section in the mixer that overloads the preamp. It's just so many like musical and technological evolutions happened around that time that really kind of forged what music is today. And then further down the line for me, I discovered through my stepdad more 90s alt rock, Rage Against the Machine. My mother also got me into some classic like hip hoppy pop music. Delight, that's a big one that kind of stands out to me. It's just that vibe that really hits home. So after like my middle school Tom Morello phase, kind of got into Nirvana, and I think that's really when it's like my songwriting started to be forged. And it's one of those things where it's like you listen to a band so much you want to be them. And I think that's where like a bit of the stage presence comes from. I think that's where some of the tones come from, and that's where some of the drop tuning stuff comes from as well. And then more recently, I think around 2017, it's like I used to get like these random videos popping up in my like Motorola like Turbo 2, the one with like the Kevlar back, and it's like it claimed to be shatterproof, but it just completely fell apart if it hit the ground. It's like 4-foot drop. It's like, oh my god, my phone's in pieces. And so I got recommended the music video for Lights Out by Royal Blood.
Yeah.
And that completely blew,
here we are.
That completely blew my mind. And it's like I wanted to listen to more of that, but like Lights Out didn't come out on Amazon Music yet.
Oh yeah.
And I was but at the time, and I was rather angry at that fact.
Yeah.
And then it's like more recently, I think around 2018, I really started to get into Royal Blood more, and then that led me down the New Rock Mafia rabbit hole. And I think that's where the songwriting kind of
Yeah, like
cemented itself.
found its roots, you know.
Yeah, it really took its roots and it started to really be nurtured.
So this is something I've been thinking about recently. I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
So there are certain challenges and advantages to being a musician nowadays,
Oh my God. Yeah.
comparatively to, let's say, like a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, let's say like the 60s.
Yeah. So
So there's certain advantages and there's disadvantages, right?
so you're
Because
basically saying like how has it's like what are like the virtues and the vices of the democratization of the music industry
Well,
based
I
through the
think-
internet.
I think the metrics, what they are is, back then, your technology was a lot more limited.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
kinds of sounds you're able to make are limited, and even the sounds you can make, you're limited in the ways you can make that.
Yeah,
To a much greater degree. Recording is also a thing.
definitely. Yeah.
That's a disadvantage. The advantage is they have less distractions. It's much easier to form a discipline. Nowadays, it's much harder for our generation to form a discipline.
That is so true.
Now we have all of the tools at our
It's like
disposal.
we have the
Yeah.
tools at our disposal, but we don't have a plan and a method to kind of tackle.
We're not bored enough.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that something that you guys have? Like, how you guys are fucking insane. So how do you guys overcome that?
I mean, wait. Well, sorry.
No, I mean,
My
you're
brain is
fucking insane.
non-existent.
You're fucking insane at what you do. You're so
It's like
You-
how
you
do we,
obviously-
it's like how to create order from chaos.
yeah. How
basically.
you obviously have that discipline, even though we all have, like,
Yeah.
for example, like, I'm not a musician. My mom is an excellent piano player, and she tried to teach me as a kid, but I never, I had video games to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a poet and I write fantasy novels.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that's where a lot of my passion is. But
Yeah. Okay.
I never had the discipline to learn an instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of going off of that, when I was teaching myself, I'm pretty much self-taught through and through. My stepdad taught me the basics. Like, I said, hey, can you teach me how to play the drums? Just like,
And then it just took off.
yeah, I was like, he just taught me how to play the basic 4/4.
Yeah.
And then I did
I am
that, yeah.
listening. I'm gonna make a drink real quick.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Do what you got to do.
So yeah, he just taught me that, and then from there I just went on YouTube and started like building my music taste. And from there, I would just listen to my favorite songs and play along to it, slow down the drum parts in my head, and just play those parts until I got them, until I could play the whole song. And I did that for thousands of songs, 2 hours a day after school, pretty much,
Okay.
roughly ballpark.
What drives you? What drove you to do that?
I just that's something I can't really pinpoint.
Hard thing to isolate, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just, I guess maybe that's just who you are. Is
Yeah, it's just something I'm passionate about. It just we all have
Yeah.
our passions.
That's
that
maybe it's a drummer thing.
yeah. So yeah, what I was gonna say that I treated myself teaching myself drums like a video game, like how a kid would learn how to beat a boss in Dark Souls. Like I would treat that
Okay.
like being a new song, basically.
That's brilliant, actually.
Yeah, that's my philosophy. When
Yeah.
I came to, when it
And
comes to
I think
drum.
another thing is it's like there's this whole nature nurture debate.
That's
But
so powerful.
Matt Bigland, if you're watching this, we love you.
Yeah.
But there's just like this whole nature nurture debate, and it really it's like no matter how like really you're brought up, nature is kind of like where the starting point is. Nurture really determines whether you're going to be an angel or whether you're going to be a monster. And
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting.
And
So that's
yeah.
Go on. That's I want to get back to that later, but go ahead.
Yeah. So and another thing is like at a younger age, your brain is a little bit more plastic. It's like your brain doesn't fully develop until the
Like
age
21,
of the age 25 actually.
25. Yeah.
And
That's when you can start drinking. That's the other direction.
yeah, it's like evolution just decided to say I'm out once we discovered fermentation. But it's like evolution was officially defenestrated. But basically it's like when your brain is more plastic, you're open to more things than you would when you're
Oh,
more
yeah.
closed-minded. And I think
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like, and
absolutely.
I think that's where like the old phrase like start them young really comes into play.
Yeah,
It's like
sure,
once you get a kid
absolutely.
started in something that they're like absolutely hooked on, they will stay connected to it
That's a good point.
for years and years and years to come until it eventually becomes a lifelong obsession.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point because actually, I think my love for drums started way earlier. Like probably I want to say at like 6 or 7. Like I was like, hey, that thing in my stepdad's garage, the drum set, was like that looks pretty cool. I might want to like mess around with that. So I was
Yeah.
like, sure. Hey, can you teach me something on that? And so he did at around 6 or 7, and then I played it, then completely dropped it for the next like
Mm.
fucking until I was 13, and then I really started getting serious about it again. And
Gotcha.
so yeah, I feel like that's what really
That's
cemented it.
yeah. Okay, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like anything, any kind of skill or ability is it's something you learn. It's a
Yeah.
discipline, and
Yeah, for
that makes a
sure.
lot of sense. Obviously if you're doing it at a young age, you have a different admiration and respect for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. Yeah, and it's like, and another thing, I think kind of along that same vein, I'm sorry, I just kind of start things and don't end up finishing them.
No, you're good.
No, that's what that's all about.
That's
man.
literally what the show is.
Oh my lord.
You're all set. Man.
Oh
You're all
jeez.
set for work.
Oh God help me.
Yeah.
But and I think one of the other fun things about just about living in general is just, for lack of a better word, for lack of a better term, peer pressure. The peer pressure that comes from, oh, you should check this out, or like, oh, do this or you're cool. It's like, and it's like, and then there's eventually like the ultimatum that comes down. It's like, if you don't do this, I'm not going to be your friend. And it's, and I think it's really gotten to a point where it's like certain peer pressure situations
That's the
like
era we live
are
in.
just, they're more cutting than others. And then it's like the perception, like, do I really want to do this? And then it's like, if you're really like feeling great, it's like you're not even concerned about like what might happen to you in the next 25 years if you haven't done said behavior, like starting an addiction or resorting to alcohol more or something like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've stayed clean is because I've just seen and heard
It's
so
so
many
easy
horror
to-
stories.
Like that's the thing. Like I have friends that like think they're really resilient to things, and it's like
And it's like
it has nothing to do with you so much as like
it's like what you're feeding
yeah.
yourself.
And
Yeah.
it also affects people differently. Pharmakia is a very interesting thing. It's like
Mhm.
it's like it affects everyone differently, It's
Definitely,
like
yeah.
that's why like drug testing is so weird, because it's like you can test it on 1,000 people, but
But they're not gonna have like, the
1,001
same
is going to
results.
have some adverse effect to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's always like an underlying factor that you didn't consider.
Yeah. What do you guys think happens after we die?
Oh,
Here we go.
Okay. Now
I guess-
now I begin to
Let me
get
preface-
personal.
let me
Guess I got
preface-
yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah. So
No one
like
really knows. Yeah.
here's my thing. I genuinely think that like there's nothing, because like once we die, consciousness is gone. And I feel like the reason we as humans created the concept of an afterlife is because we're physically incapable of comprehending what nothing truly is. So like if you imagine what nothing is, you probably just imagine like blackness. That's still something. That's a human concept. So like try to imagine what nothing
Yeah.
is.
And there's this whole
That's why we create an afterlife. That's why I think religion was created too.
and another thing is like, it's like completely agree with what you said there, but then I've had my own little brush with death at one point.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a story time and
Absolutely.
apologies in advance if I get a little
Please.
bit too emotional. So I was on this gap year program. I was on this gap year program in Israel. if any of you guys are watching, you already know what's coming. So basically, I was really not feeling it because I was so happy in the first few days of the program that I began to think maybe my meds aren't really making me happy. So I just quit them cold turkey. And then it's like it's like looking back on it, I slowly began to unravel. It's like psychotic, for lack of a better word, like just like more so like being more reclusive, not taking care of myself physically and emotionally the way that I should. And then it escalated to a point where I just ended up taking walks and aimless bus trips, just trying to clear my mind and get away from people. And then around October 27th in 2021, actually, I was, doing it's like a daytime version of that kind of walk. And I was crossing the street, keep in mind, not in a crosswalk because I was, a little bit too cocky, a little bit too arrogant in my ability to cross the street, especially with headphones in. And I was run over by a city bus. Yeah,
It's pretty horrible.
it's horrific stuff. And I didn't get thrown out from the bus. I got sucked under. Which
it's
and it's like I remember like seeing like I remember it's like
Wow.
it's like
Yeah.
seeing the undercarriage of the bus being tossed around underneath the bus for like a few feet, and then the bus stopped just before the second set of wheels could do me in. And then it's like I tried to get up, but then I realized like my shoes were on the other side of the bus widthwise. I'm like, what? And then I realized I couldn't get up, and I started yelping for help. And keep in mind, and people in Israel, it's like at 18, you're required to go into the military because when everyone's trying to kill you, you have to defend yourself.
How old did you say you were?
This was last year. So it's like, thank God I'm able to walk again. But it's like going back to that, scooped up by some paramedics by the what is basically the Israeli Red Cross, the Magen David Adom, and taken to a hospital. And I passed out just before they gave me some anesthesia. And that's because the injuries I sustained were mid-shaft femoral fracture. It was pretty nasty. Lung contusion, multiple like abrasions and some open lesions. And one lesion was so bad, it's like right around like my midsection, that it's like you can clearly see my bladder. It was like skin ripped clean open, and it was pretty bad. And that's that was the contributor to the blood loss. So technically you could say I almost died twice.
Jesus Christ, man.
Shit.
And this is like I think one of the few times I've really been like really public about it. And it's just like, and I think it's just like a huge kind of weight off my shoulders, just trying to.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, and
that must
then
have been a traumatic.
oh my
it
God.
was traumatic.
Yeah, it
So sorry
really
that
was.
happened to you.
Yeah. And then it's like I woke up after 2 days in a medically induced coma, ventilator and all that, with an external fixator on my leg. Basically, these scars, like boom, boom, boom. It's like 6 pin sites, as they were called, and they were drilled through the muscle into the bone in order to like basically like externally control the way the bone was healing. And keep in mind, femur is the strongest bone in the body, and and there's only a few cases in which a femur could be broken, such as like really bad falls or vehicular accidents, kind of like this one. Then it's like spent in ICU for a week, general surgery ward for like 5 weeks, and I just want to give a special thanks to the guys and gals at and certified professionals at Shari Tzedek Medical Center in Jerusalem who took care of me. I'm eternally grateful for you. Eternally grateful for you guys. Thank you. And then it's like spent 2 weeks in in like a rehab place to kind of basically learn how to walk again, because when you're it's like when you have the external fixator, it's like pins are drilled through certain muscles unintentionally, and one of them was actually a muscle that permits the knee to bend. It's like ITB or something like that. And because of that pin, I wasn't able to bend my knee fully, and it could only bend at like 30 degrees. So, and then spent like a few months back at home recovering, and then I around March 10th, which happened to coincide with my late grandfather's birthday, pretty much the only sane member of my dad's side of the gene pool. I got the external fixator removed.
Yeah.
And then 13 days later, I got like a femoral rod inserted. Basically, it's just like an 8 millimeter diameter rod that is inserted through my femur surgically in order to basically reinforce and reduce the risk of refracture.
Right.
Because in my case, the bone was, because the two sections of my femur that broke, they were healing independently of one another, and if one of those sides were to give out, it would be a really bad day. And so that reduced it a bit, and and then it's like all this time in physical therapy. Once I got back to the US around December 23rd, 2021, and then trying to remember what I was going to say. But it's like, and also like at that accident, I suffered like a little bit of a minor concussion, because if your head is like constantly being thrown around, constantly being thrown around under a bus, probably going at like 10-15 miles an hour, that can do some damage to you. So that's probably why the word selection is, it's not where it should be, I think.
Yeah.
And then so physically, I think I'm nearly there. It's like I just got to make sure all of my scars and pin sites and just like put some nourishing oil on them. It's like CVSE oil usually does the trick.
Yeah.
Really good. And it's like I'm currently seeking therapy or undergoing some talk therapy in order to kind of like curb the PTSD, because if there's needles or machinery in a doctor's office going around, I just shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. So quick side note, do you know what ever happened to the bus driver?
He probably lost his job. I don't know.
I hope.
It's like I'd hope too, but then again, that's not up to me to determine, and that's not up to me to think about.
Right.
Was this like a city bus driver?
This was a city bus driver in Israel for this company called Eged, and it was an articulating bus, the one with like the accordion fold in between the two sections of the bus. And imagine that going like 15 miles an hour, just headed straight for your right side. It's not fun.
Oh gosh.
Damn.
Yeah. It's and another thing, it's like going back to the whole what happens before we die thing.
After
Yeah, the whole thing's after we die thing. I kind of, it's like I didn't feel the passage of time. It's kind of the same thing that's like it happens in a coma. You don't feel the passage of time. It feels like you woke up like a few hours later, and there's no sense of time, and there's no real sense of anything. It's just, but it's like in a coma, you really do see nothing, and it's like your world just blacks out. But then again, it's like you're brought back to life, and it's like, what happened? Yeah. And then it kind of gave me like a really kind of beautiful outlook on life after, being declared that I'm fully mobile. It's so effortless to destroy, but it takes tremendous effort and a meticulous eye to build back as if it were new. And I think humans really take that for granted. It's like humans really just don't really know what they get themselves into when it comes to it's like it's like it's like if someone is killed by gang violence, for example, or something as I don't know if the right term is ordinary, but like losing a family member.
Dude, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
that's something I was just talking about last week with Ken from Silent Monolith.
Oh wow.
On last episode. But
Damn, wow.
man, okay, so I have this whole thing about not only is evil immoral by definition,
Right.
Yeah.
it's also stupid. It's not it's not a smart thing to do. And what I mean by that is what you
Yeah.
just described. You don't understand the consequence of what you do. You can't fully. It's a ripple.
Yeah.
Because like now the person you've hurt might hurt someone else, and that's the whole thing.
Exactly.
That being said, when you guys get on stage and make music, you have no idea what you're doing to like help someone.
Exactly.
For example, like I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and I was
Yeah.
also homeschooled.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was homeschooled for like a few years as well.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So like everyone I knew was in my church.
Yeah.
And when I turned 18, I moved away.
Yeah.
26 now.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know anyone when I moved out. So like I can say like I started going to shows, and like I can say beyond a doubt that live music saved my life.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So what you guys do is really important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I just
for
want to
sure,
say
I
like
agree.
I'm glad you're here, man,
Yeah.
because you're saving lives. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the show that we had on the 24th. I really consider that to be, just like just one. I think a victory, for lack of a better word. It's because like it's like brought back from the dead just to do what I love, again, and
Yeah.
just it's like I'm ready to start fresh and make this life count.
Yeah. I feel like it was meant to be for sure.
Definitely, yeah. And there's something to be said, like with the meant to be thing, and it's like I'm a big subscriber to the idea of the simulation theory. And one thing that we did, Jackson, before I hit play on that intro, was that we closed our eyes.
Yeah. And
We had a little moment backstage, basically saying like, thank you, universe, for the opportunity for Jackson and I to come together to make this show count. And then we provide our offering, just like it's like, please help us make this show absolutely rocking. Please please have this show be amazing, and have the opportunities that stem from it even more amazing. And then we capped it off with a little bit of a gratitude thing, a little amen.
So I
hit
did
play on the intro, and
on stage,
our prayers were answered.
That's fucking awesome. So I didn't have you guys on to tell you about my philosophy, but just real quick.
Yeah. Go right ahead. Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
hear it.
So like, have you guys ever heard of chaos magic?
I haven't.
Not
Yeah,
really, no.
yeah.
Okay.
Do tell.
So, when I turned 18 and moved out, I was pretty staunchly an atheist.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, because
Yeah, because
probably your experience in Jehovah's Witnesses was probably very
Yes.
visceral and aggressive, and it didn't feel right. to
and
you.
my vitriol for organized religion was even stronger than it is now. So it's
yeah,
like,
true. Yeah,
so like I hated organized religion and I didn't believe in God.
Religion as a whole, I think, is a bad thing because it gives like powerful people an excuse to do terrible
Oh,
things.
sure, and that's that's a rabbit hole we'll get into in a bit.
yeah,
But I was pretty staunchly an atheist, but I was into the occult in a very superficial way. Like Hot Topic, Tim Burton, like for the aesthetic.
Nice.
yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Cringy.
yeah. Totally understand. Yeah,
I think that's how it starts for everyone.
yeah,
And I was my whole thing was like, I don't believe in anything, but let's So let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
So I got really into witchcraft and black magic,
Oh.
Aleister Crowley,
Gotcha.
and eventually chaos magic.
Okay.
And Alice has heard a lot of these stories, so we'll get, if you want to, guys, we'll get to it more later.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, for
but-
sure.
But I basically, like, I'd never experienced anything supernatural or beyond maybe like the power of prayer.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Pretty much.
Yeah,
right. I was
definitely,
gonna. That's what I was about to say. But
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
but the like, I did have some experiences that like with a Ouija board, for example, and then later on psychedelics like DMT that so I wouldn't I'm now a believer in spirits.
Okay.
And the thing about chaos magic though is it's all about, see, here's the thing. I've never seen like something levitate. I've never seen poltergeist activity.
Yeah.
I believe I've interacted with many spirits. I've experienced bodily possession. I've channeled them through my body.
Right.
I've received messages. I've gone with psychedelics, gone to other places and interacted.
Right.
But I've never seen something levitate. I don't think they can break physics. I don't think that's a thing. So, and what's interesting, basically, when we talk about magic, there's two things. You have when it's specifically in fiction, like shooting fire out of your hands and flying, breaking physics. Though that's specifically reserved. That's what we talk about in like fantasy Disney terms.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
definitely. It's just it's like more magic that's like acceptable by pop culture.
Sure. And when you get into like when you start studying the occult, like, and these different paths, no one's saying you can shoot fire out of your hands. And what's interesting about chaos is it's like it's making the example that you can really do away with all of the magic terminology and just it's a lot of it is psychology. It's
Right.
psycho power manipulation, like
Mm.
changing yourself or changing others.
Yeah.
And that's the real magic. But the thing about it is you might as well not even call it magic because so now you can start interacting with spirits. But the thing about chaos is it's like, okay, because these things are not levitating, because there's nothing breaking physics.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to say that these things aren't happening contained within your
You
mind.
just have to be like privy to it.
Yeah. So like the brain itself is so vast, the subconscious is so vast that maybe the demons and ghosts are all in your head, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's
If they're
like
not-
another thing that's kind of, that's kind of made my way into my mind because like if you look through various ancient texts, like the Bible being a good example, the Old Testament, the Torah, like it's like for example the fight between Jacob and the angel. It's just like angel came down, angel said, "Hey, big whoop, you want to fight?"
Kicked him in the shin.
Yeah, and
That's a dirty blow.
Yeah.
Shin kicks
Oh.
hurt, man.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that angel.
no,
Everybody's like,
He fights dirty, bro.
yeah.
Jacob's like round 2.
yeah, it's like, oh, you want to go? But basically what I was trying to say was it's like we have all these stories of man encountering the supernatural in more ways than one, and it kind of made me realize or maybe think about like, did the age of enlightenment like around the 1700s completely negate man's connection to the supernatural, or even going as back as like the fall of the Holy Roman Empire? Is like did like society become disconnected from the supernatural in order
Yeah.
for complacency to really kind of take
That's
root?
exactly what happened, and what's happened is we've forgotten how to do it.
Yeah,
Because
I
all
mean-
of these ancient religions are based around psychedelics. They're based around rituals about changing your state of mind.
Right.
it's like change your state. It's like if we have records of this going back thousands upon thousands of years, and we're now really beginning to exploit its true potential through like modern engineered, just like chemical psychedelics. What did it's like ourselves in a parallel universe have to really engage that? Like what did they have Like, what did they have in order to get the
Actually-
same effects that we have now? Because it's kind of like, it's like our great grandfather could have calculated sales tax in his head, and now we can't even do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, on that, they've discovered that the Levites had on like because like you
Oh.
were saying, the Torah is a fucking it's so
Yeah.
the Torah is up there with the pyramids of like human ingenuity, where it's like we still don't really understand how they did that. That's how
Exactly.
complex.
And it's like, and speaking of
intricate it
Levites,
is.
actually, like my family lineage, Jewish speaking, is a Levite.
Oh
And
shit!
it's like Azi Yitzchak Halevi. Hey, what's up?
But so it was in the stars for me to tell you this then.
Yeah.
The ancient Levites used to have these domes in the sand, and they would get inside and they had fire pits.
Okay.
And they found through carbon analysis that they were burning acacia, which contains DMT.
Oh, wow.
So,
Clever bastard.
so you're asking, what's this disconnect? What's this thing? Man, it's the divine. When Moses goes up and smokes the burning bush, acacia is native to Mount Sinai in that region.
It's around Egypt. It's
Yeah.
like in the Sinai Peninsula
And-
near Eilat and all that. Yeah.
And if you burn it, it has a high amount of DMT.
Wow.
So like there's a
I mean,
theory.
no wonder
working
it
theory
didn't
that-
consume.
Say what?
It's like no wonder it didn't like. It's like the bush was like a flame, but it did not consume.
Because that story is so weird, right? Like so many of those stories, it's like
Yeah.
why? Okay, I'm sure there is some deep symbolism in him going up the mountain and seeing a burning bush. But what if that's literally true? Where he's like, he goes up and there's this burning bush, and he's like, guys,
and
I
he
don't know what the
sniffs
fuck
the
to
acacia.
tell you, but I went up there and there's a burning bush and I met God. I don't know what else to
Exactly.
fucking say about it.
But
It's like,
then
can
right.
you repeat it? No, the bush is gone. It burned up.
It's like
Find
one
another.
of the
Yeah.
strange things is it's like Moses was like a shepherd. It's like Moses was a shepherd around this time. It's like sheep are chilling, growing, it's just like more sweaty, wool takes a toll on you as a sheep. It's like Moshe shows up to like, the cave where his homies are at, is bathing themselves in like real Arabian spring water. And it's like, bro, it's like I just met Hashem himself. It's like his friends are like, you serious?
No, you didn't.
It's like he told me to go. He told me to go free the. It's like slaves in Egypt that apparently are linked to are linked to us somehow. It's like through Joseph and probably through because if you dig into the scripture a little bit more, it's like at the end of the story of Joseph, when he became Pharaoh, it's like when Joseph became Pharaoh, basically the Jewish people basically came like to settle in Egypt, actually, because there was like a big famine in Canaan around that time.
Right.
And then once Joseph died, Ramses the second, completely unaware of what Joseph had accomplished for not only the Jewish people but for all of Egypt at the same time, said, okay, the Hebrews are becoming way too plentiful. Okay, let's drown all the boys in the Nile.
Sounds like a plan.
And it's like okay, let's drown all the boys in the Nile. It's like, wait, something's happening. Oh, okay, let's make them all slaves then. And
Yeah.
and it was around this time, and I'm trying to remember what Moses's mother was named, but she placed her son Moshe in a basket, floated down the River Nile, and one of the I think I'm trying to remember one of my favorite misconceptions in the Bible is that Pharaoh's it's like one of Pharaoh's daughters or something, princess, shows up just like, it's like, I'll name him Moses because I drew him out of the water. Nah, because Moses literally means son of in ancient Egypt. Ramses, son of the sun god Ra.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you really think of that,
Yeah.
and then it's like this whole lineage of ancient Egyptian names that kind of have that kind of Moses and kind of like as a suffix, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like,
So you probably shared my frustration, like, because I have a deep, it took me a while after I left what I was in to like now,
yeah,
but like at this point in my life, I have a really deep appreciation for scripture.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it
for
took me a
me,
while to get there, but
yeah,
I was gonna say my frustration is with modern Christians having a complete lack of understanding of it. It's like you do not understand the book that
that
you. It's like I'm not a Christian, but I know way more about this than you, and that shouldn't be the case.
yeah, and one of it's like one of my, it's like kind of going back to that. It's like I was the Hebrew school kid at one point, and had my bar mitzvah, went really well. Bar mitzvah trip to San Diego, okay, cool. Aviation museums because I'm still a huge jet geek. But then I think what my bar mitzvah portion was actually the Binding of Isaac, and
Oh, bro, I love that video game.
oh my lord,
It's so good.
It's so good.
Hang on a second. I got to drink my Coke branded water. You know.
Uh-oh, the Sony sponsor us.
Don't.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that. 'Cause
Him sponsor us. I'm getting sad.
that is actually my favorite game, but a good story too.
Yeah. So going back to, but on a different tangent, back to the Exodus story again.
Yeah.
It's like we've all heard of the 10 plagues.
Yeah.
We've all heard of the 10 plagues in one form or another. But what I think what really happened is, and I remember seeing this this TV show called Biblical Mysteries Explained, how they have like these scientists and these priests come together to make forensic analyses and like model basically in like some like small scale events, natural events that could have happened. And like whether or not they could have been exaggerated because Bible writers are Bible writers.
Right.
One of the interesting things I found out about the 10 plagues through that show is that it could not have been a divine experience by itself, because it could have been the 10 plagues drawn out across easily like maybe like a few decades, and there was just like natural events one after the other after the other.
And a lot of these stories were handed down word of mouth, or no, not a lot of them, all of them were handed down word of mouth before they were written
Exactly.
down.
Yeah.
So they're much older than the time
Yeah.
they were written. Example, the flood story.
Yeah.
Yes,
Noah's Ark.
yeah.
Yeah.
Based on ancient Sumerian, the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
There's another flood story that's exactly the same. There's a
Oh,
flood.
yeah.
And if you're ancient Sumerian and there's a flood across the Nile or wherever the fuck they were, that area, not the Nile. Is it the Nile?
It was like somewhere around Canaan. It's like the whole world.
I can't get around Nashville. I don't know geography.
Yeah,
I don't know
you're
it
good.
either. I'm
Yeah.
completely like dumb when it comes to that.
I mean, I've lived here my whole life, so I should know. Though.
You're all good. Don't worry. But
But
yeah.
like no, but that's based on a much older story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
like ancient Israelites, they didn't take these stories literally. It's more like lessons you teach people, so
it's more of like, and so it's more of like the moral aspect is still there.
yes.
And one thing that it's like kind of like an offshoot of
Because that's
that.
a much better way to learn. If it's like,
Exactly.
Son, don't walk in
if
the
it's a fable,
streets.
it's kind of like the
Yeah.
same principle with like the boy who cried wolf, for example.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is that Dennis Prager, actually, it's like no matter if you're in, it's like I don't really care if you like believe in God as like a religious deity, but like if the concept of God has given you some kind of a moral grounding,
Yeah.
it's like I commend you.
Okay, I got
I
one
agree.
throw at you guys.
All right, go.
Here we go.
Okay,
All right.
buckle up.
So, and I take this with a grain of salt. Oh, hey, it's me. Perfect timing.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's go. Free. I'll give him a second to join.
Yeah. All right. Hey.
Hello.
Looks like he just came from the backyard shed.
The Neef.
Circular saw.
He has an anvil. He's been doing some smithery,
Oh,
some
nice.
silver
Yeah,
smithing.
he's probably doing that. I mean, judging from the safety
Yeah.
goggles
Whoa.
and
So-
whatever that is.
So Neef, you walked in at the perfect time for me to say something you've heard me say a million times.
Oh, great.
Oh, but this is Ozzy and Jackson.
Hello.
Hey,
They're
Oh, nice
Scarlet
to meet you.
Magnum. This is Neef. He produces the show.
oh, fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
Um,
you.
Nice to
too.
meet you. I hope the edit comes out good.
Yeah, better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
Me,
Yeah, that's my problem.
me being a nitpicky media guy, I mean, like I edited all the vlogs. It's like in day 4, the whale scene was his idea. I just
Yeah.
like made it happen per se. It's like sperm whale breaching. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm running on Final Cut, and it's like I'm very nitpicky about this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean that's good because like I need people around me that are because I'm completely oblivious to everything. Like
Yeah, you're good.
it's like anyway.
Yeah.
I think I was shown this in a in a vision quest.
Ah,
Under the influence of dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah.
So I mean like this obviously I take that with a grain of salt because it's just a drug trip. I'm not like this is what fucking happened.
Mhm.
yeah.
But the experience was that I was shown and like I was shown that in the beginning the universe was it just existed, and then like it woke up to the fact that it existed. Like it was always semi-conscious, but then it became self-aware. So the universe,
it's kind of like AI that way.
I suppose so. Yeah. It rose up to consciousness. Yeah.
Oh.
To sentience.
And
yeah.
it's like yeah, to more specifically sentience. And so like it's like holy shit, I'm alive and it's everything.
yeah.
Wow.
And it's like profoundly alone to the point where it doesn't like to a point where we couldn't comprehend how like that's all there is. So it's like the weight of that is like unbearable. So it creates life. So it can go down and pretend that it's not alone. It has all these avatars down there to go inhabit.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I think we're all literally the same person. And what makes us different is what our parents' genetics are and also the environmental aspects.
That's
yeah,
a crazy
it's
thing to
all
think
that
about,
and it goes back to the whole nature versus nurture debate again.
Yeah, and it gets into determinism, which is kind of the question to this is do you guys believe in free will?
Mm.
It's like I'm not really too well versed in the subject in order to really,
Yeah, me neither.
to really
I'm
have
just
an
a drummer.
opinion on it. To really have an opinion on it, but it's just like some things are meant to be, some things are they're up to you to write,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if it's kind of a mixed bag for me.
The thing about fate and determinism, things like that, is like even if that's true, you have to act like you can make decisions. You
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
take control of your life anyway.
Yeah,
Like, what does it mean to act like you don't have control? That doesn't make any sense. You're still going to make decisions. You're still going to pick one sandwich over another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I guess, I guess to believe in determinism, you have to just pretend that there's free will or just accept free will. One of the
Yeah,
two.
that reminds me of a really beautiful song lyric from our friends at Deep Six.
yeah,
Shout out.
Deep Six, yeah.
They have a song called Cobain, which is about like becoming famous to the point where like you lose your like
Since
sense of-
begin where you lose yourself, kind of like the
Yeah.
story of Kurt. Yeah,
but yeah, there's this lyric. It's really beautiful. It goes like, "What's the point in life if you don't do what you like?"
is it worth the
Yeah.
price of making it out alive?
That too, yeah.
Mm.
That's what that lyric. That's what this conversation kind of reminded me of. Like,
Yeah,
free will.
it's like, well, I don't believe in God, but I guess I'll pray I'll make it out okay. And
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to the simulation theory of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that the whole reason I brought up chaos magic and my experiences was because of what you were saying about the stage before you guys went on
Yeah,
stage.
exactly.
Yeah,
You said a prayer to the universe. So chaos magic is simply the belief that belief itself is power.
Yeah.
So if you have belief, it doesn't matter what you have belief in. So there's two paths to this. There's left-hand path and right-hand path. Left-hand path is like I draw power from myself, and then right-hand path is I have a patron that I draw from.
So I'm a bit like both. So
Okay.
like I have moments where like
That's
I
the
need,
gray.
I need to do this myself. This is all me. Then other times I have to like pray to something that something will bless me, that I'll get through whatever situation I'm going through. you know?
Yeah, and no matter
Yeah.
how long it takes, there may be a happy ending at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. Yeah. So might as well get what I can get.
And with what I was just saying about God and being us.
Yeah.
So that's the secret of the Trinity also in Catholicism is
Right.
is God the Father, God the Son, God
Oh,
the Spirit is the universe.
right.
And it's like you have people, creator, and it's a world.
Yeah, it's like people, creator, and maybe just a supernatural force that we're not really in tune with, or we lost tune with.
There's a painting I really like. It has a Buddha, and he has two marionettes, and he's making them fight each other.
Oh,
And that to me is just like, and down beneath it you have a cross, and then you have the Star of David, and then you have
The crescent and star from Islam. Yeah,
and they have all the different ones
yeah.
and it's like, holy shit.
that's interesting.
So the thing about that is me saying that kind of breaks this though, because it defeats the entire purpose. We're supposed to so I have a theory that when it comes to AI, when we get Neuralink, and it's like next time, okay, so we have brain implants that make us think 1,000 times faster. The next time we do a podcast, we're going to be resolving all of our differences so quickly that we're not going to disagree about anything. We're going to be like hitting conclusions, in my opinion. So I think what happens is eventually even personality fades away. You become a hive mind and you hit a singularity.
Yeah.
So what happens is God creates a world to inhabit, to forget that he's one person. And then they get so smart that they become a hive mind, and then they go into a matrix.
Yeah, and I remember seeing like this the show on Netflix. It's like called Planets or something like that. It's like, what will we find on other planets? And I think the last episode was like this hyper advanced civilization that had 9 billion years to develop their planet. They're not even like live organisms. They're just brains contained in a cell of just kind of like something akin to cerebral spinal fluid. And they're just there on their planet, and everything that's happening is being controlled by external intelligent devices, basically robots. It's like, and they just sit on this planet, and they have all their robots do their bidding.
Yeah.
And it's like, and because their planet is drying up because of intense solar radiation, they have to make another planet more akin to the type of environment that they were kind of evolved to be in. So like they found this ice planet, and then they artificially induced global warming.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. I'll have to watch that.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
And it's like, and then which kind of like it's like what is every alien invasion movie in Hollywood, or even in occult films, like what does every alien invasion movie tell us? Is this kind of like some kind of like foreshadowing that we're telling ourselves, or are we predicting that we are going to become our own aliens?
Shit. Yeah. That's something.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I think like to a certain extent emotionally, some people have become their own aliens because it's like some people are becoming like a shell of who they once were.
Yeah.
What to you personally is the meaning of life?
Like I kind of said for the lyric, it's just doing what you like. If like I feel like genuinely finding your purpose is important, and if you're like content with your life without a set path, like it can be a detriment, but also like if it's what you like, then you should go for it.
Yeah.
But I still think it's important to find what it is you like, and go for it, but also like, like right now I'm still figuring out like what college is. Like I only started this year, and I finished my first semester not too long ago, and I'm going back in the fall, and I still have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life outside of music. So like, I honestly don't know where I was going with this, but like,
Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it, man.
yeah, but like,
Just like you said just a minute ago, like it's all about having a good time. Do it.
exactly.
Do
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that
like
will.
living in
She'll
the
be the
moment and
one.
all
What my
that,
dad told me too is that like, you should like, I need to go to college and like figure out what I'm gonna do for a career, but definitely like, don't chase your dreams necessarily, but like chase what is important to have a good
Yeah.
lifestyle and take that dream with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just said, like, do whatever you want, but I will say I will be upset if you stop making music. I'll be mad at you.
No,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Nah, nah.
We just started.
We
Okay,
really
well,
just
it's good.
started, and it's only going to be uphill from
You
here.
get a very angry email from me.
Yeah, but it's like another thing. It's like for me, the meaning of life. I think I personally have like two kind of viewpoints on it. There's like the spiritual meaning. There's like the broader meaning of life, and then there's the individual meaning of life.
Sure.
The broader meaning of life is like for any organism, the first obligation is to survive. The second, to reproduce. As George Carlin once so wisely put it, survival is more important than fucking.
I mean,
like,
just barely though.
it's like pacifism is a nice idea, but it'll get you killed. It's like we haven't gotten there. We haven't gotten there. Evolution is slow. Smallpox is fast.
I love that one.
I
That's
love it.
good.
It's like all George Carlin, Complaints and Grievances, 2001. But it's like the broader meaning of life. It's like sometimes it's not so defined as that.
Mhm.
It's like survive, reproduce, and the cycle repeats. It's like maybe it is that way, but then at the same time, who knows what else could happen?
Sure. It
And
could very well be a test. Who knows?
yeah, it's like maybe
I kind of get that vibe, to be honest.
yeah,
I kind of get that.
yeah,
That being, I've
yeah, but then yeah.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's a and more so to the individual meaning of life.
Mhm.
I think the individual meaning of life is to it's like there's I'm kind of like, what's the right word? I'm really like unsure as to what my meaning of life is. Like maybe it is to it's like I definitely want to write more songs because what else do I have to leave behind?
Yeah.
It's like when will someone who hasn't discovered the music before come across this and it resonates so deeply with them that they want to be with me, but then they realize I'm gone. Like what's going to happen to that kid? What's going to happen to that young man or that young woman who comes across the music and resonates with it so deeply, only to realize that I'm dead, or we stop making music.
That's something I think about. Like I go back and listen to artists like, damn, this is good. What happened to them?
And it's like, it's like creative differences, and it's like either creative differences or there's like some sort of like an admin problem, and I think another thing that it really kind of boils down to is that band breakups are really just a short-term decision that is like rather exaggerated.
Fair enough.
Because for example,
point.
it's like no wonder you see reunion tours popping up all the time.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds so official when a band's broken up. It's
Yeah.
like oh, this never happened.
It's kind of like
if they get back together,
yeah,
it's like
it's kind of like
betrayed
the
my
Who with their
trust.
last tours,
Yeah.
It's like it's like
That's
it's like
hilarious.
2016 last tour. Oh, Roger Daltrey wants to buy a new island in the Philippines. Oh, we're going on another last tour.
One more couldn't hurt.
Yeah, one more couldn't hurt. Yeah, we're just gonna dump all the equipment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I completely agree with both you guys just said. It's I don't know how literally or figuratively I mean this, but
yeah,
I worship Prometheus.
Okay.
He's a
Mhm.
Greek god.
Oh, okay.
A Greek god
Yeah.
of remind me of what again?
Fire. So
Oh,
and
gotcha.
knowledge. So
gotcha.
basically,
So you subscribe to the whole Greek polytheism kind of
well,
thing.
that's why I said I'm not sure how figuratively or literally I mean this.
Prometheus was not necessarily the god of fire. He was the fire bringer.
Yeah.
He was
So
considered to be the
basically,
fire bringer.
what happened was he was a Titan. He wasn't actually a god. And when Zeus, king of the or god of gods, basically, decided to imprison the Titans, he Prometheus was one of the he was the one that like usurped the Titans. Like he was the inside man for Zeus.
Mm.
So he taught Zeus how to fight the Titans, and then like they were cool. He basically kept Prometheus, gave him a seat in his kingdom. Well,
Not bad.
Prometheus goes down and he gives man fire, and he teaches them how to make fire.
Right.
And Zeus realizes like, oh, you're about to teach them how to usurp me the same way you taught me how to do the Titans. So he gives man fire, and they create combustion engines.
Yeah.
They create nuclear technology. They harness electricity through that.
And then through the
Um,
harnessing of electricity and through the harnessing of the atom, it's like, did Prometheus write our
Yeah.
death note?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so a lot of that's the argument, right? Well, that same thing of the handing of the fire.
Yeah.
That's Eve with the fruit.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like
That's actually a cool.
it's
So
like,
it's I
So
worship knowledge. I worship the exchange of knowledge. So that's actually a trinity of itself. You have the mentor, the student, and the knowledge itself.
that's an interesting way of putting it. I
So
didn't
my
really-
life is dedicated
really
to
think of
the
just like
ascertaining or the like gathering knowledge and then distributing it.
so it's like
Yeah.
personal development, so you can further nurture
Yes.
others.
Yeah, like this is just
That's really noble.
I do this show because first of all, I don't think people talk about this stuff enough.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Clearly,
aliens.
I
It's
don't.
Yeah.
stoner shit. It's not super important.
Yeah.
But like you shared your story, which is like, I thank you for doing that because
Yeah,
it's like very
yeah.
powerful stuff and very personal, and not a lot of people have the courage to do that. And you doing that
Yeah.
might show other people that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You showed me for sure.
Yeah. It's like one thing that I'm still trying to get over is, how do I tell other people about my baggage while at the same time I'm holding on to it for dear life? It's like, why am I holding on to trash? Like, why am I holding on to a story that is detrimental for me to even think about, and like telling it is not having it go away anytime soon? Like, what's the
Yeah.
story with that?
I really think laying it out is like really important because it helps the mind heal from that. Kind of
Yeah,
shit.
definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of
I
like,
think, I think part of the healing process that you talk about when you express to other people, and I like the way that you put that, holding the baggage that you're showing everybody,
Yeah.
has a lot to do with instinct. We talk as songwriters about how sad songs sell more. People
Right.
want sad stuff, happy songs are campy.
Broader audiences.
And it's because, to be reminded of the bad is a good thing, a good feeling, because it's not being put through the bad. Being
Yeah.
reminded of the good isn't really a good thing. You just want to feel the good.
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. It's like we all,
I've been going through that lately too.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and I think like just telling someone to be happy, even though like they're trying their best to be happy and it's not really coming out. It's like let me try saying this another way. But basically, the way like how you said that like sad songs sell more, and that the and I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say here, but I think it was wait, oh crap.
Yeah, it'll come back to you.
Yeah. I hate that cliche.
Hey, I'm the same way. I just forget what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh yeah, it's like it's like you don't want to be reminded of the happy. It's like to some extent, it's kind of like going back to another George Carlin reference. It's like you're at a garden party, like a really elegant, like, posh garden party, and then you notice floating in the punch bowl is a giant turd. It's like, lovely party, Timothy, but there's a turd floating in the punch bowl.
I say that's not up to standard. These
Some people will take note of it. Some people won't say anything.
What?
Some people act like it's not there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Some people will make an excuse about it.
Yeah.
Some people will deny that it's there.
Yeah.
But that's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Where? I
I
want one.
like to ride them.
All right. Wait, hold up. Regarding the elephant, maybe he's wearing glasses.
It was me the whole time.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dumbo? How you doing?
Very good. Yo, I love you fifth grade, dude. Fucking great, bro. So good to meet you.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro, how your cousins in Africa doing? It's like Sharpie trunk, just like
Stupid shit like that.
Oh my God, it's like I love it too, but it has to come to a certain point where it's like,
Gotta love the awkward.
yeah. And it's like on another thing, it's like humor, I think, is essential to the human experience.
I think so too.
It's like, no wonder, like, if, for example, the Jewish people have come back after the Holocaust with flying colors, because you got like people like Carl Reiner, Mel Brooks.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. You got people like Carl Reiner. And then you got Carl Reiner, you got Mel Brooks, and you got all these other Jewish entertainers that come from families that like have went through the Holocaust. Geddy Lee of Rush is no example. It's like how he got his stage name, his Yiddish.
I almost brought up Rush earlier when y'all were talking about free will.
Yeah, it's like the reason why Getty's stage name is the way it is because his Yiddish speaking grandmother couldn't pronounce his real name, Gary. It's like Getty, come here, something like that.
That's great.
So you can see it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
At least that's what I've been told. And then he has like signature Tech 21 preamps. But it's like one of my favorite jokes about anti-Semitism is like so to set the scene, it's like around like the late 1800s in Russia, or like the late 1910s in Russia. There's a high-ranking Russian general on the phone with a local rabbi. So the rabbi says, "So is it true that the Jews really sold out Mother Russia?" And the Russian general says, "Damn right, you filthy." I can't say because I would feel uncomfortable. And it's like, and then the rabbi says, "Oh, cool. Where can I get my share?"
Damn.
It's like pointing out it's like pointing out your tormentor's arguments as stupid will eventually make them crumble, because their arguments are based in, for lack of a better word, and excuse my language, bullshit.
I was just watching this thing about how European Jews have more Nobel Prizes by like a landslide.
Yeah.
Than fucking anyone.
Yeah. It's
not like a little bit. Like a fucking landslide.
It's like Bob Dylan, no exception. Full name, okay, Robert Zimmerman. It's like one of my favorite jokes that I think an Israeli comedian said is like, he was like doing a show in France, and it's like a French girl in the audience like, "Where's the Israeli team in the World Cup?" The audience was like, "Oh," and then the Israeli comedian like sheepishly says, "Where's the French in the Nobel Prizes?"
That is cold.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's like the ethnic jokes thing is like another really fun thing is like it's like an Israeli comedian, like same video is like, so my wife and I went to a trip to France, and sorry, I can't do the Israeli accent all that well. So my wife and I went on a trip to France, and and then we ended up agreeing that let's not speak Hebrew, so they find out we're Israeli, because there's a lot of anti-Semitism in France. So we didn't end up speaking the entire trip, and it was the best trip of my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to have a joke? Do you want to?
Yeah. Do you have any jokes?
Yeah,
Mr.
Not
Drummer?
not of my own.
it's
But-
good. It's good.
Mitch Hedberg.
Oh,
Yeah, we love.
oh.
Do you know Mitch Hedberg?
I love Mitch Hedberg.
Fuck yeah. But
My shirt is dry clean only, which means it's dirty.
probably my favorite joke from him is, I don't have a girlfriend. I just know a girl who get really mad if she heard me say that.
I like rice. Rice is great when you're hungry and you want 2,000 of something.
Fucking.
I was in a twin size bed wondering where my brother was.
Oh my god, we bond over Mitch Hedberg. Fucking rest in peace. He's a
Oh, my,
legend.
Yeah,
oh
no,
wait,
he was
there's
good.
this other one. It's like I just found out that limes can float. So now I know when my boat is sinking, I will reach for a lime.
So
I shall be saved by the buoyancy of citrus.
so it's an interesting time for comedy. It's
Yeah.
an interesting time
for
for
sure.
art.
It's like
in
especially
general,
it's because
but
like
especially comedy right now seems to be at the forefront.
I mean
of
like Dave
everything.
Chappelle smoking the guy who came on stage, and then Chris Rock just shows up just like, was that Will Smith?
Oh no. Oh, Jesus. Was this after the?
This
the
was
slap-
after like
the slap thing.
this was after the slap when Dave Chappelle got attacked on stage.
Oh my god.
Oh, they stomped the shit out of that dude too. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
My wife's name at your fucking
Mouth. It's not mouth.
He wouldn't
It's
have done
mouth.
He wouldn't have done that if it wasn't Chris Rock. He's like
Right.
3 times his size.
Oh my god.
And
yeah.
it's like, and then you see like these edits from like Snoop Dogg or something where it's like the slap. It's like, down.
Dude, literally every band I've seen has used that voice sample in their live show to some extent. Like, you know the band Bad Flower?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that's actually where I got to see 68 and I got to play with them as well. We'll get,
Oh shit! God damn it! I meant to get back to the 60. We got it.
We'll get to that after.
Before we close. We'll talk about 68.
Yeah,
but
for
basically,
sure.
yeah. Bad Flower. I saw them, and as they were playing their song called Stalker, halfway through, like during the bridge part where they got every band on stage, like they used the voice sample in a way that like matched with the music and the beat. It was so fucking cool. But then I realized like a bunch of other bands have been doing the same thing. I was like, what the hell?
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah, but the way they did it, they edited it so it's like it's a fucking mouth. It's fucking mouth. You know? So it matched the music a bit. And it was really fucking cool to see.
I had no idea who 68 was until I saw them open for Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh yeah, because yeah, he the lead singer Josh Scogin, he started a really influential hardcore band called Norma Jean.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Norma
So
Jean.
Oh yeah.
he started that band, and ever since then, Josh has been known as a legend.
Yep.
And he's been 68 have been on tour with all these crazy bands like fucking Korn.
And they got
Same.
silly stringed by Korn.
Yeah,
That-
yeah,
that's
there's
an
a
honor
video of
within
that, yeah.
itself.
68 was.
Yeah, they got silly stringed
They got-
by Korn
They were
on
on tour
stage.
with Korn, Every Time I Die, Sained,
Bad Flower.
Bad Flower. Yeah, that was a fucking that was really funny because like Josh was there with Jack from Dead Poets Society at the same show
Dude.
and recorded it. That's another reason I found out. And I know they were both following 68, so I was like, oh, I gotta check these guys out. And I realized, wait, I've seen these guys before on my Spotify. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
okay, I gotta look these guys up. I saw the live session from Day Trotter.
Day Trotter sessions. They
That's-
don't put me on TV.
Oh my god! As soon as I watched that session, I was like, "Oh my fucking god, this is my new favorite band."
Yeah.
Oh
there's-
my.
my lord! And then I showed it to him. Now it's his whole fucking personality at this point.
It's my favorite.
They're
my-
so good.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
favorite line in any 68 song out of all of them is the spoken word bit and no apologies.
Yeah, there's a. Do you know the song "No Apologies"?
It's
they have a
two
second
parts.
one.
It's like, well, they warn you of
Yeah.
the wolves, but they don't warn you about the sheep. I started buying tears back in early spring. Bow, bow, bow. Well, I got the blues, but the blues ain't got me.
And
In
so,
fact, we
yeah.
all fall asleep in Act 3, so I'd like to panic, but I ain't got the time. If you give them 8 eyes, they will ask for 9.
I think it'd be more fun if like we actually listen to it, maybe like after the show.
Yeah.
No, I want to hear it.
It's like, and that
I've heard that song
raunchy, that
before.
raunchy
Oh, yeah.
guitar bit, still bright after all these years.
They're
That's
so
actually how
fucking
we
good.
when we listen to it again. That's actually how we got the idea for our intro.
I listened to math rock and like some.
Oh,
Same. That's
It's,
actually what I
it's
grew up
actually
with,
one of my former good friends, because it turned out to be an intellectual thief. He really liked Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah.
And my favorite music video instantly, the Strawberries Wake video, was like when they like take their airliner to the edge of space. You know?
Yeah. So this isn't necessarily math rock. Do you know the band 65 Days of Static?
No.
I
Damn.
think
Okay.
so.
They're my favorite band in high school. Like they're an instrumental, kind of half rock, half like electronic, instrumental progressive band, and that's one of the kind of styles of music that really got my like skills kind of cemented. And I'll get to them back to them in a bit. Do you know the band Carnival?
Mm-mm.
Damn. I think I've shown you them before.
I think so.
Basically, they're this really fucking insane, like of course you know Tool, right? Like everyone knows Tool. Anyways, Carnival are like Tool mixed with
Oh
Muse,
wait.
pretty much. That's how I compare them.
Yeah.
Who?
Carnival.
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 Karnivool.
No, that's not who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, is it who?
Oh yeah, who? Okay.
No, that's the Who. That's a different band.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I want to buy another island in British Samoa. Let's go on another last tour.
One last one.
One last one. It's like, oh, I want to buy like 15 new Fender Custom Shop Strats, says Pete. Don't tell me we have to go on another last tour.
But yeah, I forget why I brought up 65 Cincinnati, but anyways, I guess we're kind of like
Talking about our favorite.
half
was-
going back to like
yeah.
what we started out with.
I was
Yeah.
just trying to say I pretty much listen to math rock and hip hop. That's
Yeah,
pretty much
okay,
it.
yeah, 65 Days Static, they're pretty much a math rock band as well. They did all kinds of crazy shit. I'll get into that
Yeah.
at another time, but still.
Yeah.
Math rock. Do you know the band Royal Coda?
Oh yeah.
They're
They have like
they have a
numbing
ton of
agent.
crazy-
Yeah.
they have a ton of math rock elements where it's like odd time signatures, like crazy polyrhythms on the drums. Joseph American is like one of my favorite drummers. He's in that band. And
And he follows you,
no, Joseph American doesn't follow me. But
but he follows Will.
Will follows him, and then
And-
Will follows me.
Okay, that's close
Yeah,
enough.
but anyways, we're getting off track.
I mean, I like Every Time I Die. I like Polyphia.
Ooh,
Oh
yeah,
my
Polyphia
god,
is good.
it's like the in-ear failure at that Polyphia show.
Yeah, I've
and,
seen that.
and then
yeah.
the drum
wait,
tech
wait,
being
you
such a
seen Polyphia?
stud.
I haven't seen it. No, there's a viral video going around of the drummer whose in-ears like fell out, or he couldn't hear anything in his in-ears. So he had to get one of the drum techs to tap his leg to the tempo of the music.
Every song.
And this mad motherfucker went through the whole set with just
No
the drum
way.
with the drum tech tapping on his leg, and he did it perfectly. This guy's a fucking beast.
Wow.
You have to see this. It's insane. But
Yeah.
that's what happened.
We need to get that drum tech.
Like, hey,
But he might have an easier
Dude,
time.
We didn't even use in-ears. I just use my fucking earplugs that I have with me right now.
nice.
Like we just use
You guys
monitors.
sounded great, man.
Yeah,
Thank
it's like
you.
we just use monitors, and we just use monitors, some kerosene and Dr. Pepper, and we're good.
We got a fucking Scarlet Magnum show. I think.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you want two dorky dudes met online. You want them on the same stage, more or less cracking the same jokes, putting on an explosive show of explosive music. It's like, and you want the lead singer to be from New Jersey and this guy from Texas. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we can have that arranged.
Yeah, there you
we can
go.
make that very specific request happen.
Yeah. And it's like I really want to there be a music video where it's like someone's ordering at a deli, and it's
Yeah.
like the guy behind the counter. It's like it's like the hat, that it's like the hairnet. he's wrinkled. It's like you can tell he hates his job, but he owns the business, so he can't back out of it. It's like he outlines that specific request, and then it's like Jackson and I just show up, just
sunglasses.
not so much in
Yeah.
not so much in sunglasses, but like it's like they're bringing stuff in from like the carts outside, like from the truck, and it's like someone opens the crates for deli meat, and it's like we just show up like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun idea. I want to try that. Yeah.
Yeah, or
Well-
that maybe could be like a good show promo.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be
This
like a
is
shot.
this is the first rough draft of the video.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
There
We
you
don't
go.
even know what song it's for yet.
We
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
haven't written it yet.
We don't know.
Behind the
No.
scenes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Alex,
You got-
Spoil the EP title.
uh-oh.
No.
Nope.
No.
Well, you spoiled it's an EP, so
So all right. So
Why
I'll
is
give
fucking
I'll
love?
give you a hint. It begins with I and ends with S.
and his
Igloos.
mom helped come up with it.
Igloos.
Yeah.
Next out, Alice. Next Scarlet Magnum record is called Igloos. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Oh,
Ozzy,
you sorry fool.
Ozzy Jackson. Thank you guys so much for being here, dude.
Anytime. This was
has been such a
absolute
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Dude,
It was
we're really
so
grateful
great.
to get
anytime. Next time you're in town, it's fucking make
I
it
would
happen.
love to
Dude.
do this again.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Really
it's
fun.
like if you guys do reruns, we would gladly show
Oh, dude,
up again.
Yeah, for sure. We also got the book club.
Let's go.
At the first of the month, I announce what book we're reading, and at the end of the last Wednesday of the month, we do a live. I just get a bunch of different musicians together, and we just all talk about it.
Ah,
Okay,
nice.
That sounds fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm more of an Audible guy because I can't put my
me
eyes
too.
on the
Oh,
page
I
for
cannot-
this,
Reading
to
is hard
save
for
my
me.
life. It's just
Yeah.
like not in the slightest.
I'm the same way.
Mhm.
Oh my lord. All
Well,
right,
Alice,
so-
we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
This court is now adjourned. Bye.